Okay, good morning. We're starting off a new series of another Sevev of Kriyat Torah and Limud Torah according to the Parsha Hashavua in Tafshin Pei. There should be a Shdat Pidyon and Pedut Bezat Hashem. The ghemara in Masechet Eruvin, we know that there's a famous machloket over there between Beit Shammai and Beit Hillel, whether it is Noach. Noach means that, was it better? I'm translating it very loosely, but of course we have to go into what exactly the word Noach means. But Al Kol Panim, there was a debate between Beit Shammai and Beit Hillel whether it was worthwhile or better that man was created. And this debate raged for 3.5 years. And the whole point of the debate is, I'd like to paraphrase it, can we say that is Judaism an optimistic religion or a pessimistic religion? Of course, when we look at the Parshiyot, or the Parsha of Bereshit, and after every single day, every single stage of creation, it says Hashem saw that it was good, and the second day Hashem saw that it was good, and then on the sixth day it says Hashem saw that it was very good. Which would seem to make a winning argument for Beit Hillel. And Beit Shammai thus says that it's correct. It says V'nei tov and Hinei tov ma'od. The question is, from an existential point of view, how good it is. Of course, in the long run, everything in the Torah will be realized for the good, and Hashem's world and will come to its correction. It will be fixed. Everything will be blissful. The question is, till we get to that, and that's what Beit Shammai is arguing, is it something which is optimistic or not? Does the individual person, will he partake of that bliss that there is? And I don't want to go in that way. What I wanted to do is just to, when we look at the text, besides V'nei tov ma'od, is there any indication that would maybe suggest to us that Judaism is basically an optimistic religion? And basically Rav Kook says, as well as others, it's not only his, he just puts it in a very inspiring way. He says the fact that the root of man is, the beginning of man, is that he was created in the Garden of Eden. That is the optimistic message of Judaism. Because he was created in Gan Eden, that means that there's always not only the hope, but there's a guarantee that when he returns or where he evolves or when he develops, he can go back to that original state. Let me read to you something from a letter of Rav Kook. I want to just lift up this book. It's called The Selected Letters of Rav Kook, translated and annotated by Tzvi Feldman. Here it is. You can see over here. This is if you want an English version. And I'm reading now from one of these letters. And Rav Kook writes like this. He says, the pure understanding of life's joy and light that is in the Torah is actually found in the secure guarantee of the past. The fact that our roots, the past, that is the source of our optimistic outlook to the future. Why? Because man in the past was very happy. He was created in the Garden of Eden, and only an incident of sin distanced him from his way. It is clear that an incidental failure is certain to be corrected, and that man will return to his proper level forever. Then Rav Kook writes in the letter over here, let's say that he says that we do believe in evolution, not maybe in the details that of Darwin, but the idea of evolution, which he says is a Kabbalistic idea. Some of the pratim, the details, that's something else to be discussed. But he says if we only had evolution without this knowledge that in the past Adam was in Gan Eden, then who says that in the middle of the process of evolving that it wouldn't stop or that it would regress? But now that we know that in the past, Adam was someone who was complete. He was in Gan Eden. He enjoyed all the bliss of being connected to Hashem. So this is what gives Judaism its optimistic outlook. And I'd like to just quote from there's a very interesting difference in approach between the ghemara and Masechet Sanhedrin, Aviyah and Daf Lamed Chet, and the way that the Christians looked at the story of the Torah. So in Christian sources, there's traditions that they claim that Adam was in Gan Eden for 8 hours, and that Cain and Hillel were created after Adam and Eve were banished from Gan Eden, and this gives to the notion and the concept of original sin, which parts on from generation to generation. On the other hand, the ghemara in Masechet Sanhedrin Lamed Chet quotes over here Rabbi Yochanan Bar Chanina, who says that the perfect day is made up of 12 hours days, 12-hour night, and it goes on to describe over what happened on the first day of man's creation. So, for example, it says the first hour, Hashem collected earth in order to fashion the body. The second, he was fashioned into a golem. The third, and the fourth, he was fashioned in a certain way, the limbs. The fourth, Nizraka bo neshama, Hashem breathed into him the neshama, the breath of Hashem's life. Chamishit, he stood up, and then it says that Chava was born in the 7th hour. On the 8th, Adam and Chava were together, and she became pregnant. On the 9th hour, there was given the commandment not to eat from the Eitz Hadat. The 10th is when she sinned. The 11th was judgment, and the 12th, they were banished. So what do you see from this ghemara? And this is what Rav Kook was speaking about. That man, Adam and Chava, and the subsequent, already according to our traditions, she was already pregnant before even the commandment was given not to eat from Eitz Hadat. That means that in the past, the Adam and Chava were perfect, untainted, free from sin. And even the generations that came afterwards, Cain and Hillel, they were pregnant. She was pregnant with them already, exempt from any, not only exempt, in other words, not having any sin, not having any blemish or defect, chas v'chalila. So then if we ask ourselves the question, are there indications of the optimism of the Torah in the actual Parshiot? So the answer is a resounding yes, besides the fact that it says on each stage of creation that it was 12, but we see from the fact that Adam started off and he maintained that innocence and that goodness until he sinned. So that's what Rav Kook says is something. The sin was just an incident which came afterwards, and we are confident, and the Torah has always reassured us that man will come back to that original state of that absolute purity that Adam and Chava were born with.